What is your American dream?
My American dream is that eventually, hopefully, we'll all be able to come together and realize that we all deserve the same things.
My American dream is affordable health care, equal pay for women.
My American dream, to grow up, to have a nice family like everyone else, but to also be happy.
I want to give back. I want to be a professor in the future. I'm doing my master and eventually I want to do my PhD. I want the American people to see that people who are coming from all over the world, we are not coming here to take away your job. We are here to make contributions.
My American dream is to live fast, die young, and leave the world a better place than I found it.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Apartment A somewhere up in Harlem, and we got Vanessa, boss lady, Ness-quick, across the river in New Jersey. There you go. How you guys doing?
Hey, feeling good.
Yeah, doing good. Wow, you're singing that. How was your day, guys?
Yo, I'm loving that shirt. I miss getting fly with you, my guy. That's what I think I might miss most.
You're very, very fashion conscious, Ness-quick.
Me? Or Ness-quick?
Ness-quick is. So are you, Yonathan.
I have to keep up with both of you guys.
By the way, out of the three of us, I'm the least, I think.
No, not at all.
Oh, here goes Brad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a caveman compared to the two of you.
No. Weren't you the one that went to like Italy or something and came back with like 5 suits, like tailored?
Yeah, but it was my first 5 suits ever. I never had a suit before. Let's say hello. Let's say hello to the squad. All right. Princess Tenko says her brother has a consultation with your team. I hope you guys can help him. I hope so too. Nicole Hernandez, how are you? Squad up. Sasha Ford, squad up. Marlene Watt Russell, squad up. Jessica Leamy, Sasha Ford. I said Sasha Ford. Denisha Joseph, squad up. There's a guy by the name of Yonathan Elias in the comments. Squad up. Abigail Taylor Watson, how are you? Jessica Leamy, Stargirl Mika. Gracie Goddess, how are you? Dion Reed and Cher Topaz, all on Facebook. On YouTube, Jessica Leamy, she is double fisting, how are you? Simone Brown, sexy. Shan Myers, Daniel K, back it up, Ricky. Mile 7, how are you? Tally, and Jalov. Vanessa Contreras, I think Ness-quick, she likes YouTube. Love those American dreams. Carol, the Top Cat Tigers, 2 Anderson. How do we not say hello to her? Alim, Aga, Marco, Salinas, and everybody else. Ness-quick and Yo-Yo, we got to get on with the show. Why don't you tell everybody what we got to do to share and press the buttons and all that stuff. Let's get right into the show. No messing around today.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yes.
I don't hear a thing, Yonathan.
You don't?
I don't hear a thing. Did the aliens invade apartment A?
No. Can you hear
There you are.
Now
There you are.
I hear you. Now I hear you.
I can hear you.
Now I hear you.
Let folks know what's happening on Facebook, brother. Let them know what we
Yes,
gotta do, man. Let's get this show on the road,
Facebook.
kids.
Absolutely. Everybody on Facebook, we need you guys to start sharing now. We are all back at it again together. Right? Get the word out. It's
I have a public service announcement.
It's choppy.
That's all I hear, Yonathan.
It goes in and out. It goes in and out. But let's go, guys,
Facebook.
on Facebook.
That's
Facebook,
all I heard.
friends. Let's share. You guys already know this is the part that we like to warm up. Let your friends know that we are on right now. Maybe your friends don't know all the great things that we provide here on the Brad Show. So help us out, guys, and share, and make sure that you thumbs up. Toss your questions in there throughout the show, because we do have our squad back at the studios who will be collecting your questions for social media check-in, as well as comments of the day. And then on YouTube, you already know, you guys, and if you don't, you're about to find out. I need you guys to subscribe, so press that subscribe button so you're a part of our Brad Squad. Make sure you thumbs up. Right now, I only see us at 20 thumbs up, and I'm seeing 58 people watching. That's only half of you guys showing us love, and I think that, we need a little bit more love than that. So if you guys can just give us a thumbs up, and you're also able to share via YouTube as well as a post. So make sure that you share. Let your family, your friends know that Brad Show Live is on right now. And last but not least, we're on Instagram, you guys. So make sure you follow us at Brad Show Live, because we will be offering our free consultation that is valued at $200. So all we need you guys to do is follow us at Brad Show Live, find the post, enter the contest by tagging 5 friends. Every time that you tag 5 friends, tag 10, 15, that is your name thrown into the lottery that we will be picking out tomorrow, guys. So make sure that you find this post on Instagram, like, and tag 5 friends. How was that?
That was very, very good. Let me just make sure you got everything, Vanessa. Did you remind everybody to share, like, and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram?
That.
You did. Did you join the Brad Squad fan page? Remind everyone about that.
Yo-Yo is so fluent in that one.
All right. Did you tell everyone to start a watch party?
The watch party comes later on when we answer our questions.
What about the $200 free consultation contest on Instagram? You did that, right?
There it is. Can't miss it.
So now we
don't want to miss out on this.
Now we
love that we're still doing this.
We only have one last thing to do. Schmoozing with Brad.
Yeah.
All right. So who do we have here? Do I have any co-hosts? There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Wow. Yes. You're like the Verizon guy now, Yo-Yo. Wherever you go, we can hear you. We gotta get Yo-Yo in for that Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now?
Right.
What a
Listen,
difference.
give me that Verizon money. I'm good.
What you want that Verizon money, right?
Yeah.
All right. So any event, Yo-Yo, why don't you tell everybody when it's time? That's your job. It's now time for.
All right, everybody. Now let's find out what's happening around the world. It's time for Schmoozing with Brad.
There you go. All right, so quick update on immigration courts. The Executive Office for Immigration Review, they have now extended the start date for immigration courts in New York for non-detained hearings through at least July 17th. The Newark court is now not scheduled to open till July 13th. And the Department of Justice and Homeland Security, they're also postponing migrant protection protocol hearings and in-person document service through July 17th. So at least in the New York and New Jersey area, basically the immigration service is going to remain closed at least until the middle of July. I also understand that the immigration officers at the Department of Homeland Security, USCIS offices, they got notices about being furloughed as of August 3rd. They are estimating that perhaps as many as 70% of the staff at USCIS may be furloughed. They're claiming, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, they are claiming that they don't have the money to pay the staff members at USCIS because people are not filing their petitions. But based on my unscientific survey of the immigration officers that I know, I'm being told that they're all hitting the bullshit buzzer, and this is really all
Brad
political.
has the inside scoop.
That's right, and it's all political, and it's all about Trump trying to slow down the immigration process.
Of course.
And I don't have anything to back it up other than hearsay through immigration officers that have told me that, off the record.
Right.
But
That's a close source, though.
I kind of believe them. What do you think, guys?
Yeah.
That sounds believable to you, right?
Absolutely.
So meanwhile,
especially with everything going on, no surprise there.
Yeah. So meanwhile, the New York Times reported today that there is growing evidence that most people who are infected are not spreading the coronavirus. That there's only a small group of people actually that actually spread the coronavirus. This is the new science behind coronavirus. Now, whether or not you end up being the super spreader, because maybe out of 10 or 20 people who have coronavirus, only one actually becomes the super spreader. Everybody else who has coronavirus doesn't actually give it to anybody. And they say that it's really not about biology. It's not about, your nationality or your skin color or where you live. It's just about the circumstances of when you are particularly sick and what you are doing at that moment. So, for example, attending an event like a football game or a mega church right before your fever starts spiking, that is when you would become the most likely to spread coronavirus to 10, 20, 30 people because you are at the most contagious stage and you are in a closed environment with lots of people. So Adam Kukarski, an epidemiologist, told the New York Times, by curbing activities in small proportion of our lives, we can actually reduce most of the risk. Because, for example, if if we say, okay, only 1 out of 20 people are actually, going to actually, infect everybody around them, and it's only because they're in an enclosed environment and they're talking a lot and spreading their saliva and other germs coming out of their mouth, that if we stop those type of events, we can stop super spreading. What do you think about that?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Just like Miami and Texas, all these places that had opened, they had opened up the beaches, they were opening up bars and whatnot. That's why they had to close back up, because of stuff like that. So there's no way we could open up like football games and concerts and all that. It's too early for all that.
Go ahead, Vanessa.
I had even seen, so in my household, we're dancers. So I sometimes in a blue moon go see a ballet, for instance. And my sister had sent me a post where there were theaters that were starting to physically remove the seats in between to try and respect the social distancing. So there's theaters that are starting to take the precaution. But honestly, y'all, back when we were still in the studio, back in March, it's June now. Sure, this is progressing, we're learning more, but football season, that's right.
What do you think of the idea that, it's my body. I can decide if I want to go to a football game. I can decide if I want to take the risk of getting infected. Why should somebody tell me that I can't go to a stadium or can't go to a bar? It's my life.
Because it's not just your life. Because you are also endangering other people around you. You're also endangering the essential workers that actually have to take care of your ass when you do get COVID. That's so selfish to even think about that, to say it's my life. If it's your life and you don't care about it, you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do. But you stay your butt at home once you get that sickness. Don't try and go and because I have so many friends that are essential workers that literally put their lives on the line. I know essential workers that have coworkers that died from this. that died from actually trying to take care of these selfish people that don't care about that. No, that's stupid.
You're absolutely right.
Ignorant.
You're absolutely right, because if it was all about, you know what, if you want to get sick, that's your problem. If that's what it was all about, then yeah, go to the football game. But you get sick,
right?
And now, according to the science, because we got to follow science. We can't follow what Trump says or what Pence says. We got to follow the science. And what the science says is, one person at a football game, one person at a mega church, one person at a concert, at a ballet that maybe your family wanted to go to, if they are particularly sick at that moment, they're the super spreader. But if we avoid all of those things, we avoid large crowds, we don't get super spreading, and we're okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
there's people not taking this serious enough, I feel.
Yeah, meanwhile, Dr. Anthony Fauci, he told Congress today that the recent surge in coronavirus infections was caused both by some areas reopening too quickly and by people not following the guidelines. He told lawmakers, I'm going to quote, "We've got to get this message out that we are all in this together, and if we're going to contain this, we've got to contain it together." Now, Fauci, the top infectious disease expert at the National Institute of Health, said he's quite concerned about what's happening in many of the states, even in areas where state and local officials followed the federal guidelines. Individuals acted as if restrictions have been lifted, like there's no more coronavirus. As a matter of fact, there's more people getting sick now than when the entire United States was under quarantine. Would you believe that? There's more people getting infected now than at any time since that day when I'll never forget, we did our show, and then Trump came on television that evening after he spent 6 weeks saying coronavirus didn't exist. And he said, oh, by the way, no one's allowed to come from Europe anymore. And we're like, what? Where did this happen from, right? And ever since then, we were in our homes. Everything has changed in our lives. There's more people getting sick now than ever. So I feel like kind of like we've quarantined for nothing. Do you feel that in a little way?
The thing is, people just need to realize that, like, I don't think it's for nothing, because I definitely think that, you know, us staying in it, I feel like, I want to say it's helped. I think it could have gotten a lot worse if we just continued to live life how we, you know, have been living life. But I think people need to just start taking it a lot serious, because you have to also understand, like, actually this happened to me yesterday. A lady was in the elevator, and I was about to walk in, but she didn't have her mask on. And I was like, oh no, you guys, you could just go ahead and take it. And she was like, don't you believe in God? I said, yeah, but you ain't him. You know what I mean? So it's like, people need to start taking it serious. It's like,
hey, maybe God gave us this as a wake-up call. Who knows?
You know?
Who knows? Who knows?
I felt that way.
I believe God gave this to us as a wake-up call. But that's my, you know.
And to clean the earth.
Yeah, that's my thing, you know. But what do I know?
Or it's for all of us to just take a minute to realize everything that's happening on planet Earth, right? So I'm not going to say that I was always like, I just knew to be cautious, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I knew to wear my mask, to wear my gloves when I went to the supermarket and take my precautions, but I'm going about my life. I'm being cautious, but I'm still living my life. And yesterday I caught myself, as time has gone on, and you do see people that had passed from it and had no, like, you know, underlying diseases. And then there are people that are getting a little too comfortable because they have had or know people that have had COVID and you know, came back from COVID and were fine and are healthy now. And like, they're like, okay, so this thing doesn't totally kill you. So maybe we can just be a little bit more passive about it. But I was out on a busier street around here in my neighborhood, like going to the UPS store or something yesterday. And I took a second and I'm like, there's a lot of people out here. And like, this is the world now. These people are in masks. Like, isn't it crazy how 3 months ago, if someone were walking around here in masks, like, they were odd, and now you're looking at someone like, where's your mask?
Well, I'll tell you a story that just happened. I was just telling everybody in the control room, Julian, the TriCaster guy, if he was listening. I don't know if he always listens to me. But I was telling Jilly, she was listening to the story. And I went to Starbucks right before the show to get my coffee. And Starbucks has a sign, one person allowed in at a time. And I'm waiting on my coffee, and then somebody walks in behind me. They don't have a mask on. They got nothing on. So I say, yo, dude, if you're going to come in and you're going to be two people in the store, even though the sign says one person, put on your mask. The guy's looking at me like, what are you talking about? So I turned around and I said to him, I said, dude, if you're going to be in here, put on a mask or get the F out. I literally said that. I was so angry. And then the guy looked at me and he got out. I thought he was going to punch me in the face or leave. I wasn't sure which way we were going to go with this. I was like, this could go viral. Lawyer gets punched out in Starbucks. But the guy left. And all of a sudden I turned around and there's like four, people working there at Starbucks. They all gave me a standing ovation. They're like, you're the best customer we've had all day. You wouldn't believe how many rude people are walking in here and they don't put on a mask and we can't yell at them because we're working at Starbucks. We can't start throwing people out of the store. You are the best customer. And he said to me, you should go, the barista. Is it still a barista if it's a man? Is a barista
it's always a barista.
It doesn't matter
it's just
if
it's a general
thing.
neutral.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a barista. Okay, it's a barista. Okay, I don't know. I never heard anyone call it barista before. But a barista says to me, you should go back and you should ask your boss for a raise. You're amazing. Because I threw this guy out. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask boss lady. Because, everyone doesn't know this, but I'm going to tell the truth. We call her boss lady, but she's really the boss. I'm going to ask boss lady for a raise because I threw the guy out of Starbucks. What do you think?
I think you deserve it. Approved.
Meanwhile, let me ask you this question because this is the big thing now. We've been talking about in the office, and Fauci was talking about it today. He went and told Congress that in order if there is a coronavirus vaccine, they need at least 75% of the people in the United States of America to take the vaccine. Or as a group, I see Yo-Yo already, or as a group, we will not have the herd mentality and we will not be able to get rid of coronavirus. So he says that the vaccine, he believes, will be somewhere between 70 to 75% effective, meaning that for every person who takes a vaccine, assuming we're able to get a vaccine, but he believes it'll protect 3 out of 4 people, and based on their math and modeling or whatever, if 75% of America takes a vaccine, that is 75% likely to prevent you from getting coronavirus, we would be able to wipe coronavirus out of America. Anything less than that, we will still have coronavirus. So a CNN poll last month found that 1/3 of Americans said they would not get the vaccine. So that doesn't get America to 75%. That gets America to 66% of Americans who claim that they would take the vaccine. So my first question, I already know Yo-Yo's answer. He ain't taking the vaccine. He's taking his chances. He's taking his chances with COVID-19 before the COVID-19 vaccine. What about you, Vanessa?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't get flu shots. Like, I really try to take care of myself. I highly believe in like holistic, and like just drink your water, take your vitamins.
I wonder if it would change your mind or the mind of your generation if the vaccine was free. If they said, we're going to give you a free vaccine, the U.S. government's going to pay for it. Would that change your mind? Would that
change your mind? The flu shot is free.
The flu shot's free. I get a flu shot.
I don't. I've not got one in like 10 years.
Sick. Would that change your mind? It's free. I guess you assume it's going to be free. What if what if the U.S. government pays you to take the flu shot? I mean, to take the coronavirus shot. What if you get a tax break?
That's aggressive.
All right. Do you think
that would be more of a reason not to get it?
If you get it for you. So in other words, if they say, you know what, you take the coronavirus shot, we'll give you a stimulus check.
Because think about who needs the stimulus check. Think about like the demographics that would need the stimulus check.
Right. It would be minorities. It would be minorities.
Exactly.
It would be people in poor neighborhoods. Correct.
There you go. That's targeted. So fall in for that okie doke? I'm good. I got a master's, baby. You ain't gonna get me.
No way. What about you, Vanessa?
I'm with Yo-Yo. I mean, honestly, I just feel like that's not the only solution. Or I can also understand how maybe if it was a necessity for a higher risk, over 65 or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like for myself at my prime age of 28 years old, I don't know. I haven't ever needed to take a shot to avoid any diseases, and I don't feel like I'm gonna start now.
I actually don't blame you, being your age. I think at my age, I got to think about it more, whether I'm going to take it or not.
That's what I'm trying to.
Right. Certainly, my parents, I would want them to take it, because if they get coronavirus, the odds are they're not going to make it. So I think elderly people should take it. I think people who are likely to get sick. You know, I'm on that cusp age. I'm 51. And I'm pretty healthy. I'm fine. You know, I don't have any diabetes. I'm not, I could lose a few pounds, but I'm not like completely obese or overweight. So I'm like, they say over 60, obese, diabetes. I don't have any of that. So I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I haven't decided yet.
So another reason why, I've always read I love history and stuff like that. And I remember reading something about like in 1932, I think it was the Public Health Service. They were giving some kind of like vaccine for black men that were like in Tuskegee or something like that. And I think it was like 600 black men that did that. 399 with syphilis and 201 who did not have the disease. So they were infecting the black people with diseases, saying that they were actual vaccines.
So you think you think they're going to infect black? I think that's a little. I don't think that.
Listen.
I don't
know about that.
I think that's a little. That's a little.
It's a little extreme.
Extreme, yeah. I don't think anyone's going to be purposely infecting people.
What do they say? They say history repeats.
That is true.
They say history repeats itself.
That is true.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to take no chances.
Now, what about
I didn't say that's
what happens? Because there's certain vaccines you have to give your children that even you took in order to go to public school. I don't know.
Right.
I don't remember all of them. I had to give my kids certain vaccinations. I don't remember what they all were, but I had to give them certain. I wonder if they will make kids take the vaccinations in order to go to public school. I mean, at what level? Now, do you think there will be that would garner protests? Do you think people would be? Yes, you think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Because at that point, like, you're forced to have to get that vaccine. You're forced to have to get your child to, that vaccine, and I don't think that's fair. So I believe that will turn into a big protest.
So I think that we're all of the opinion that I don't know whether I'm going to get the vaccine or not, but I think we're all of the opinion that we're not going to. No way is 3 out of 4 Americans going to take this vaccine. No. So we're going to be living with coronavirus for a while then.
Yeah, but we go through phases.
I want to at least see how this vaccine. I don't want to be nobody's guinea pig.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to see what that vaccine is actually going to do.
It's like that first round of iPhones.
What was the first round of iPhones? What was the problem with the iPhones?
I know.
It's just always the first round of iPhones. Like when iPhone launches a new iPhone.
When it's like 11.1. You want to wait for 11.3, right?
There you go.
You want 11.3.
And it's like I was having this conversation with my boyfriend just the other day, and he's like, remember magic healed from AIDS, right? Like, not to say that that's not still a relevant thing, but that was like a big point in time, and that was like the health focus was like that time period, that era was like AIDS was huge, and then the flu, and now it's this.
Now let me ask you this question. Yeah, go ahead, Yonathan.
No, because I was about to say, because I know the majority of our viewers are either immigrants or have immigrant friends, and in our culture, we don't take medicine. we don't go to the hospital for like little stuff. It's all remedies. Like my mom almost got her leg amputated. The doctor wanted to amputate her leg as a child because a dog bit her leg and bit through to the bone. And my grandmother literally took my mom away from the hospital, took my mom away from the doctor, and just made remedies and fixed her leg up. Now she doesn't limp. She doesn't have any type of, like a little scar. But if it was up to the doctor, they would have amputated it. So I know that
there's a difference because in the United States, medicine and drug companies, it's big business. So as an American, me, who grew up, with that mentality, the American mentality, because you grew up with it, is you're sick, go to a doctor. You say, ouch, go to a doctor. There's always a pill to take everything.
Right.
There's always a shot to take everything. But immigrants who come from around the world don't grow up and live with big medicine and big pharmaceutical companies trying to sell you to buy stuff.
you make your own remedies. I grew up with eucalyptus trees all over. Anytime I got sick, my grandmother would pick up the leaves, boil it in hot water. She said, put a little blanket over your head and inhale. That's it, and I would be good.
Meanwhile, one last conversation before we get into our immigration questions. Recently, let me ask you this guy's questions, because this kind of boils back down to we have an election coming up, and the Supreme Court recently handed down 3 very liberal decisions. One in favor of DACA, one in favor of keeping abortion available in Louisiana, and one in favor of gay rights. Do you think that when people go to vote, whether it's for their senator, their congressman, because is that something that's going to be on their mind, or is it going to be more about the recent protests with George Floyd? Is it going to be the economy? Is it going to be coronavirus? There's so many things that go through your mind now when you go to vote. What do you think of all of that would be? Because, people used to vote before. It was all about abortion rights. I don't even think abortion rights are in the top 5 at this point based on everything that's going on in the world. But you can tell me. What do you guys think? I find it amazing that 5 years ago it was abortion rights. I don't think it's the number one thing right now.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's the number one thing.
As important as it is. As important as it is.
Yeah, as it's very important.
Yeah.
I think what it's going to do is it's going to spike up the voting numbers of the millennials and Gen Zs, because you see this everywhere on social media. You see it on Instagram. You see it on TikTok. You got all these young people talking about it. So if anything, I just think it's going to be a lot more Gen Zs and millennials voting. I know so many that are going to be voting for the first time just because of all the stuff that's happening.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was actually very, very impressed that the protest that I attended in Jersey City for Black Lives Matter was actually coordinated, led, and organized by a group of high schoolers in the area. And the young lady spoke so eloquently, so fluently, and she was 18 years old. This is about to be the first time she has the opportunity to vote. And just like her, that's her cause, what she's standing for. But that's a very young mind with a big opinion and with a loud voice. And there's a lot more of her out there that are ready to hit the booth, because if this is the opportunity for me to make my change, I'm gonna go for it. But we would hope that they're doing their research on what will be, the steps moving forward, or the proper or the close to semi-rightful leader of this country, Right.
Meanwhile, did you watch the BET Awards? I know Yo-Yo probably did.
I didn't.
Of course, I am BET.
You are BET. You are Mr. BET.
I am BET.
For those who don't know, you had a show on BET at one point.
Exactly.
Right. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I don't watch any TV anymore. But I do know, because I read in the paper, that Fiance won was recognized for the show's humanitarian award, honoring her for her many initiatives that help those in need. Former First Lady Michelle Obama presented the award to Fiance. Let's watch.
You can see it in everything she does, from her music that gives voice to Black joy and Black pain, to her activism that demands justice for Black lives.
Now, obviously, it is well-deserved. I mean, nobody sits here and could say it's not a well-deserved honor.
Fiance.
Yeah, of course. But was there? Who else do you think would be eligible maybe next year if they had to give a second award next week? Who do you think? Who do you think would?
That's a good question.
Would get it?
You know who I'm ready for to get some sort of reward, and it's not music related, but I feel like Issa Rae needs to be recognized, like big time.
Why?
As well as I mean, I feel like Ava already got her recognition when this when They See Us.
Right.
Yeah, but Issa Rae is like an up and coming no, because she already has a series with like 4 seasons on HBO. But I feel like her show is so real, and like my generation and all the generations like growing up after us can easily relate to like the way that the Black community thinks through this like HBO show Insecure, and it's just so real and I don't know. I think that's just someone's purpose.
For me, I think it would be more so like someone what's his name? Oh God, basketball player, tall basketball player.
A tall basketball player. You basically just you've just narrowed it down to everybody in the NBA.
Yeah, Lee,
okay.
How did I forget his name? Oh my God.
A tall basketball player. Yonathan says. Yonathan says the award goes to a tall basketball player.
Oh,
LeBron James?
The main
LeBron
one.
James?
LeBron James. Golly, I had a brain fart. But someone like LeBron James, because like he does a lot for the community and a lot that people don't even really know about. He has different organizations that help the youth, especially minority youth, lower income communities as well. So I feel like somebody like him would deserve a humanitarian.
What about as an athlete, Colin Kaepernick? He gave up his career for what he believed in.
You know,
he gave up a career. He gave up millions of dollars for what he believed in. Think about it.
But look at it now.
I mean, he gets money through endorsements, so nobody should cry for him. But he gave up his athletic career. You know, something he trained for his entire life to go on a field and play a sport. He gave it up. You know, you could say, okay, well, he does well anyway. He's still making money on endorsements from Nike, blah, blah, blah. But he gave up, you know, it would be like, you know, I went to law school. I went to college. I studied for XYZ years. And on principle, I'm not going to be a lawyer. They gave it up. Oh, yes, I'm making money elsewhere. But you give up your career, what you spent your whole life on because of a political principle, in which everybody ridiculed him at the time except for the Black community, which now we look back and say everybody is kneeling and saying he was correct.
No, absolutely, because he definitely started a movement, you know, and he does have an organization called Know Your Rights as well, so he is giving back to the community as well. So I definitely think that he would be well-deserved of it as well. Yeah. He definitely would be.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. As well as people are recognizing his protesting from years ago now, right? Like after all the loitering and after people weren't being so peaceful with their protests because they are so angry. Now people are looking back and they're like, oh, so we probably should have been more okay with Kaepernick when he was just kneeling.
Yeah. Anyways, we got to get to some immigration questions. But good conversation, guys. Why don't you tell everybody? Why don't you tell everybody what we need to do? Yo.
All right, guys. Yes, and you guys can hear me. Thank God. All right. So first things first, I need you guys all on Facebook. Please share. All right, not only share, because I'm going to tell you, you already know what we do after, we share, but now I want to say how you share. All you have to do is that little arrow on the bottom right of the video, and share it to anybody's page. You can share it to the inbox, you can share it to the most important, I want you guys to actually talk to me. Let me know.
You can't move around so much. Don't move around so much when you speak. I think your AirPods go in and out.
Yeah, just stay still. I know you're very animated, but...
I am.
Right there.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Verizon. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Don't move.
Everybody on...
Don't move.
I'm not moving. I need you guys to share. Click the arrow and share to different pages. You guys can share it to inboxes, share it to groups. But most importantly, I want you guys to start using word of mouth. This is what I do. Anytime I go out, I let everybody know about the show, and I make them subscribe. I make them share. I put them on, literally with the word of mouth. All right, so I need you guys to put in that little extra effort. All right, now first thing first, I need everybody to stop with their use their finger and start the watch party. All right, we have not done this in a while. The watch party I need you guys to do is all you have to do. Click on the little share button, and it'll say watch party. You will be a host of the watch party. It will go straight to your page. It'll let everybody know what you're watching. You guys let them know. Come to the main page as well. Put in their questions and comments.
Public service announcement for Yo-Yo. For the next segment, go back to the wires. Vanessa, what do you got? Nobody hears you, Yo-Yo, but you're doing a good job.
Nobody hears me?
I don't hear you. But
it goes in and out.
Maybe everybody.
Well, you guys
I don't know, but you know what he's saying.
It's the bread and butter of the show, you guys.
That's
so
right.
This is the moment that we really want to reach as many people as we can, okay? So
Public, it is not the bread and butter of the show. It is the meat and potatoes of the show. The bread and butter is the social media check-in. Let's, this is meat and potatoes. This is the heavy
guys,
stuff.
Let's get our dinner plans.
Yes.
Let's get our dinner plans aligned, okay? Anyways, y'all, we need you guys to share because Brad is about to answer immigration questions, and that is what we're here for. You guys are here to listen in on the questions. He's going to give you your answers. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you comment, and that you also share this post. Like Yo-Yo was trying to tell you, drop this into everyone's direct message. Start that watch party. Let your friends know that Brad is about to give you guys all the information that you need, okay? Also on Instagram, you guys should be following us at Brad Show Live. Make sure that you follow and you like our latest post, as well as you can enter the chance for a free consultation with Brad. So let's get answers to your immigration questions.
All right, our lines are open. I'm going to be answering your immigration questions. The telephone number is scrolling on the bottom. At some point, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head's going to be flying by and yelling at you to call. And then give a thumbs up as well. Also to call, 1-800-529-5465. I'm going to be answering your questions right now. Also give it a thumbs up. Let's go to Darina in Louisville, Kentucky. Darina.
Hi, Brad. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Okay, so I'm a naturalized citizen, and I need to apply for my passport. But currently, they need us to send the original naturalization certificate to them to get that process.
Right.
And my husband and I are also waiting for an adjustment of status interview for him. So, and then I need the certificate at the interview. So how can I apply for my passport without risking going to the interview without...
First of all, you could expedite it for an extra like $60 or $80 or whatever it is. They'll return your passport in 2-3 weeks. I doubt you're going to get an interview in the next
I believe currently they don't have the expedite.
Oh, they don't have it anymore?
COVID-19.
Okay, then I don't know. I would still do it because you have a driver's license, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you have and you're a citizen of what country?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. So you could also bring your Ukrainian passport. You could bring your driver's license. In the computer system, they have that you're a citizen. So nobody doesn't believe you're not a citizen. You just need proper photo ID. I would do it now, and I'm sure you would get your passport and naturalization certificate back before the interview.
Okay. And if I don't, would they
Show up with
waive
your
the proof of
No.
citizenship at the interview?
Yeah, because they know you're a citizen. Just bring your driver's license, bring your Ukrainian passport, and explain.
Okay, they can check my citizenship. Okay, that's awesome.
Absolutely. So just
And then my
do it now.
second question. Okay, my second question is: our jobs and financial situation has changed since we applied. Should we fill out a new affidavit of support and take it to the interview?
Wouldn't hurt.
Okay, and if we want to move to another state right now, is that going to cause major delays to the process?
Yeah, because then you would have to do an AR-11, change your address, and then they would transfer your case from, you're in Louisville, Kentucky right now, they would transfer it to wherever you move, and then you would go to the back of the line there.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
All right, have a good day.
All right, let's go to Amita in Dallas, Texas. Amita.
Hey, Brad.
How are you?
Good. Brad, I think I asked you the question yesterday on your Instagram. My husband is in a removal proceeding. We applied for I-130, and the I-130 is approved. We filed for the adjustment of status, and he did his biometric. Now he has a court date on September 15. Could you please tell me what document?
Why is he in removal?
Because of asylum.
Oh, okay. So then what you would need to do is this court date in September an individual hearing or a master calendar?
It's an individual hearing.
All right, so then you have the I-130 approved?
It's approved, and he already filed his adjustment of status. He did his biometric.
Who filed the adjustment of status for him?
One of the lawyer.
All right, no. You have to make a motion to the judge to recalendar the case and say, I have an approved I-130 visa petition, and I would like to recalendar the case, take it off not have an individual hearing for the asylum. I want to go back and have a master calendar because we have an approved I-130, and I would like to file an adjustment of status application. And then the judge says, okay, file the adjustment, and then you file the adjustment, and you either do it through the judge or you do it through immigration, however the judge tells you to do it. But you just can't file an adjustment while you're in removal, while you have an individual hearing coming up for asylum in 2 months. That's not the process.
Oh.
All right. So I think you need a consultation. I don't know if your lawyer is doing the right procedure. It doesn't sound it. So hold on one second, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Sam in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sam.
Hello, Uncle Brad. How are you?
Guy, how you doing?
I just have one question. I'm going for the consular processing to my home back country. So the new rules and regulations, is it going to affect on my case?
Who's sponsoring you?
My wife, she's a U.S. citizen.
No, the proclamation does not affect marriages to U.S. citizens. How did you come to the United States, Sam?
On the C1D.
Okay, so you're doing a provisional waiver, I hope.
Yeah, I got everything approved.
Okay, yes. So, what country are you going back to?
India.
India. As long as they're giving you a visa appointment, you'll get your green card.
Okay.
Don't go home till you get the visa appointment, because I don't want you to sit home in India for months waiting for it. Okay, but the proclamation does not affect people who are married to U.S. citizens, even from India.
Okay, Uncle Brad.
All right?
Thank you so much, and good to see you back.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, I think people forgot. That we take telephone calls on Brad Show Live. This is how the whole thing, Brad Show Live, started. We only have 2 people on hold and I have 20 telephone lines, and I take probably 10, 20 calls a show, at least 20 calls a show, somewhere between 10 and 20. So call right now, 1-800-529-5465. We got to get people used to calling again. It's the meat and potatoes of the show. Don't forget. Let's go to Teresa in Mesquite, Texas. Teresa.
Mr. Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. What's going
on? I have a quick question. I am a permanent resident, and I do have a fiance in Jamaica. we're thinking about getting married next year in May. I did file for my citizenship because of the corona. I'm still waiting.
Right.
But is it best for me to fly to Jamaica and get married, or can he travel to the U.S. and get married?
Does he have a visitor's visa?
I'm sorry?
Does he have a visitor's visa?
Yes, he does have a visiting visa.
All right. Let me give you a little secret between me and you and whoever is listening. Okay. If you marry him in Jamaica, as of the moment, there's a proclamation. You can't file. I mean, you could file for him, but he's not going to get a visa appointment. The proclamation only applies to people in another country. It does not apply to people here in the United States. So, hypothetically, and I'm putting this in quotes, hypothetically, okay? Hypothetically, if he were to come and just come for a visit on his visitor's visa, and then he waits 90 days, he's visiting, and then after 90 days, hypothetically you say, I don't want you to go home. I'd like you to stay here and marry me. And you marry him after 90 days. Right now, you would be eligible to adjust his status here and get his green card, even if you're a resident. Right now, there's a proclamation. We think Biden's going to win. We think the Democrats are going to win, but it's 4 months away still. So, but I have to tell you hypothetically, because you can't come here for purposes of getting married.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go to the next.
All right,
You're welcome. Let's go to Marco in Astoria, New York. Marco.
Hi, Uncle Brad.
How are you?
Good, thank you, Uncle Brad. I have a question. My VAWA is approved. It was approved in May 2020. I do not have the letter of approval because my lawyer hasn't sent it to me. I don't know what's happening to him. I hope he's okay.
What do you mean your lawyer doesn't hand it to you? Is he alive?
I hope so.
You call him on the phone?
I sent him an email. Yeah, I sent him an email and he's not responding, so I'm a bit worried.
Marco, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Marco, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay. You have a telephone, right? You just called me. Does your lawyer have a telephone? Call him.
Yeah, but the voicemail is full, and
he doesn't answer.
I don't know what's happening, and I know the VAWA is approved because I am checking it in the USCIS website.
Have you filed an adjustment application, or you have not?
Yes, we did in December 2018, and I was married to a U.S. citizen. So my question is, in case I need to go for an interview, what documents should I bring to you so you could represent me in this case? We could go together, or how could we do it?
Well, I think you first have to have a consultation with me, but if your lawyer disappeared, I'm still around, thank God. I'm here. We would need, if you have copies of your application that you submitted, because they're going to interview you based on the facts of your application. We would start there. If you don't have copies, I'd like you to come in sooner rather than later so we can request immigration copies. Certainly we'll track down your lawyer. Maybe I'll have a better chance of getting him on the phone than you. And we can take over your case and get you prepared. That's not a problem.
That's great, Uncle Brad. And my last question is here. I recently had an EAD approved on the 22nd of June. And I see in the website that it hasn't been shipped yet to my lawyer's office.
Why is it
so it's been
office? You can change your address.
Because it's a VAWA.
Change your address. I think you need to come in. Change your address. You have a lawyer that disappeared. He's not calling you, and everything's going to an office where you have a lawyer who's fallen off the face of the earth. I think you need a new lawyer. Hold on one second, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to, and we'll change the address, obviously, and get you that work permit. Jesse in Houston, Texas. Jesse.
Hi, Brad.
Hi,
good evening. I'm good.
Evening.
I have a question. My father left Jamaica in 1984 before I was born, and he came. He went to Florida to on a farm work program. He somehow ended up in New York, and he has been living in New York all those years, and he didn't get straight.
Okay.
he didn't return home, so he didn't get.
So
his
basically,
stuff
your father's been out of status for 40 years.
for 35 years.
35 years. I'm not good at math. 35 years. What is
Yes.
your status here, Jesse?
In January, I got my green card, my 10-year. The problem is my father, he has been in the hospital since November
What for?
of last year.
What for? What happened?
Brad,
Is he in the
he wasn't
hospital
going
or
to
he's in
the.
a nursing home?
He's in the hospital.
He's been hospitalized since November of last year?
Since
He's been in the hospital
November.
for 8 months?
In Mount Sinai since
Oh my
November.
God, what's wrong?
He had a hurt. He went in to do a bypass because the blood was not circulating in his legs. And then after he did the bypass surgery, they realized that he had a hernia for a long time, and it got infected. So they had to do a hernia surgery. After they did the hernia surgery, they found out that one of his scrotums were blocked. So they had to do a surgery to remove the scrotum. After they did that surgery, they found out that he suffered a stroke. Then after suffering the stroke, the other day they called me to say he caught COVID-19.
At Mount Sinai Hospital?
At Mount Sinai.
Oh my gosh. So
and then they called me again the other day again to tell me that they had to remove 2 of his toes because whatever they did with regards to the bypass surgery.
Has anybody looked at, is this like malpractice? I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Brad, I don't know. The problem is he doesn't have the only person he has is me. And he has no more family. I'm his only child.
Gosh, I don't think anyone's doesn't sound like anyone's caring for him. But I mean, I could be wrong, and maybe he's getting very good treatment at Mount Sinai. I don't know, but that doesn't sound.
Yeah, but he caught corona and all of that while in there.
All right, so his immigration status is secondary to his health at this point.
Yes.
Nobody is going to deny him treatment at this point because of his immigration status. We got to figure out what's going on there. Hold on one second. I mean, you may need to speak with even Moshe the bulldozer about what's going on.
They took him to court.
They took who to court?
They took my dad to court while because right now what happened is because he's so sick. There's nobody to care for him.
So they appointed a guardian.
So they took him to court to appoint a guardian for him.
But why are you not involved? You're the daughter. You don't want to.
I call them and tell them that even though right now I'm not in a position because I don't have a job right now, so I was telling them that no, I'm not in a position to help him like with a place to stay and stuff like that. But I was trying to let them know that I still want to be a part of the process to know what is going on and stuff like that.
I don't have the answer for you on this live show, obviously, but it sounds like it's a whole mess of a problem. I feel terrible for your father as well. Why don't you hold on one second? Let's see what we can do to help you off the air, okay? Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Henry in Gainesville, Virginia. Henry.
Hello, Brad.
How you doing?
I'm good. I filed for my naturalization in December.
Right.
Yeah, the status is showing on the USCIS website that it's taking them more than the time they had, but there's nothing else for me to do. They don't have anything that I need to give them.
Did you go for your interview?
Not yet.
All right. Yeah, because of COVID, everything's kind of on a little bit of a hiatus. So, got to see what happens over the next few months. Trump is trying to furlough immigration officers. It's a mess between Corona and an anti-immigrant president. So we got to expect some delay. And in terms of, mandamuses, it's hard to go into a federal court and say your rights are being violated when the immigration office isn't even open at this point in time because they haven't opened it because of Corona. When did you file your naturalization? How long ago?
I did the fingerprinting in December 23rd.
Okay, so it's only been 6-7 months since you fingerprinted. Let's see what happens with everything. This is what I'm advising my clients. Let's kind of stay in a holding pattern at least through the end of August. See what happens with these furloughs. See what happens with coronavirus. See if the immigration office opens, and we could reassess what to do. It's only been 6-7 months since you filed for, since you got fingerprinted. So it's not unusual. I mean, if you were waiting a year and a half, 2 years, I'd say, yeah, that's unusual. But 6-7 months is not extraordinarily unusual at this point. So my advice to you and to everybody else in this situation, let's just have a holding pattern for another 4, 6, 8 weeks, and let's assess what happens with coronavirus, what happens with immigration opening there, because even courts aren't even open right now. With immigration opening their offices, what happens with these immigration officers who are going to be furloughed. In the meantime, file your papers. Absolutely file your papers. But in terms of resolving outstanding cases, I think we gotta wait and see how everything plays out for the next few weeks.
So do you think this will be ready before the election?
I don't know. I don't know how coronavirus is going to be affecting America. Every week, it seems, I'm in my studio right now. Maybe Cuomo next week closes us down again and we're back home on quarantine. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So, a lot of it has to do with Corona. A lot of it has to do with Trump taking advantage of Corona to slow down immigration. Yes, taking advantage of Corona, but, it's the situation we have right now. So just hang in there and let's see what happens, okay?
All right, Brad. Thanks a lot.
All right, okay. Let's go to Deanna in Phoenix, Arizona. Deanna.
Hello, Mr. Brad.
Hi,
how are you? Good, sir. Thank you. Mr. Brad, I have a question. I am a citizen of India, and I do have 2 children who were born here. And can you please let me know what is a public charge?
What's a public charge, you're asking me?
Yes,
a public charge means that you can't support yourself, and you need the government to support you because you are below 125% below the poverty level. That's what public charge is for immigration purposes. If you're asking me, is this specific program a public charge? I don't know what program you're talking about. Or if you're asking me, can I file for somebody, or are they going to say public charge? I don't know who you're filing for or what your situation is. Although I do hear a very hungry baby in the background.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. That's all I had a question.
That's all. Okay. I think you need a consultation if you want. Hold on. All right. I don't know what she wanted me to answer her. Let's go to Vikram in Georgetown, Guyana. Vikram.
Hi, Mr. Brad.
How are you?
So I have a simple question. Am I right? So I have a simple question. My grandmother filed an I-130 petition for my dad. At the current time, she was a U.S. citizen, and it was filed in 2009, and it was approved in 2010. Fast forward to 2020, we recently received a welcome letter, and we're only seeing to make payments for my mom and dad, and my current age is 26. Is it any way possible that we could also get through with my dad, or that's not possible?
No, it's not possible. You're aged out. Once you're 21, you age out. They have something called the Child Status Protection Act. Now, the way that you calculate the Child Status Protection Act is you get to add to your 21st birthday the time it took for the I-130 visa petition to get approved. So in your particular case, what you just advised me was that the I-130 was filed in 2009 and approved sometime in 2010. So that means that you fell off the case at around 22 and a half years old. And since you're 26, unfortunately, you're off, which is why they did not send you the fee bills for you.
So the only other option we have is until my dad migrates, he can sponsor us as a legal permanent resident.
Right, but that's going to be years and years and years, unfortunately.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right, let's go to Mitzi in Waldorf, Maryland. Mitzi.
Hi, good afternoon, Brad. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
First time on your program.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I have two questions. One, my mother is a permanent resident here, and she filed for two of her unmarried children back home.
Right.
Should she apply for her citizenship, or she should wait until when they get here before she applies for her citizenship?
Are the I-130s approved?
No, it's not approved as yet. Because she did it last year.
All right.
She just got a chance to do it last year because everybody was telling her that she needed to be a citizen first before
It is
she applied.
faster, believe it or not, to file as a permanent resident than it is to file as a citizen. The priority dates are quicker being a permanent resident than a citizen. It's just the quirky way that it is at the moment. Once the I-130s get approved, and she can then become a citizen. And under the immigration laws, at that point, as the priority dates become closer, she can elect to go back and stay in the F2B category if that's faster, or she can elect to upgrade to the F1. She'll have that choice. So once the I-130 is approved. So if the question is, I want to get my kids here as quickly as possible, but I don't want to jeopardize it by filing my citizenship, my answer is wait until the I-130 is approved, then become a citizen, and then you get the choice whether you want to be in the F2B category or the F1 category.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
My other question is,
okay. 2 for 1 today. Why not?
Yeah, I had two.
Why not?
Yeah. So my other question is, my son applied for my adjustment status here because I came here last year, but my son is an American citizen. Now, in December, we filed papers in the end of November, December. The end of December, I did my biometric, and by March, I got my EAD and stuff. Now, they had sent to me for some documents stating for me to show proof that I was not married to his father. Now his father is married here to somebody else, and it's not the father that is filing for me. I sent in the information that they asked for from my country, and now I'm still waiting on them.
Did you come up to the United States and claim you were married? Why would they be asking that?
No, I wasn't married when I came here.
Okay.
I don't know why they asked for that information. I have no idea.
Okay.
But anyway, after I sent in the information, they sent a letter to my son saying that the I-130 is approved.
Great.
So now I'm still waiting on them I called the other day because I was...
You have your work permit, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you're just waiting on the interview like everybody else. Everything's kind of delayed because of COVID.
Okay, because in the letter they told me that it's in a queue waiting for a date to send out and stuff. Okay.
Eventually they're going to have to do this by video or something. I don't know how they're going to bring people in for interviews, but eventually they're going to have to figure something out.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right,
continue doing a wonderful job.
Thank you very much. Just hang in there, okay?
Yes, I will.
All right. We're going to be back and answer some more immigration questions in about 45 seconds or so. Where's my paperwork here? But in the meantime, we have a Bradjucation where I answer the question, can the government take my green card away? Let's watch. The government will always take your green card away. Until you become a citizen, then you don't have a green card anymore. So they can take your green card away if you stay out of the United States for too long. They can take your green card away if you have been found to have committed fraud in obtaining that green card. They can take your green card away if you have a criminal record. There are many ways to have your green card taken away. It's called deportation. But once you're a citizen, unless you committed fraud to become a citizen, you never lose your U.S. citizenship. Wow, look how professorial I look with my beard. Let's go back to the phone lines. Amisha in Philadelphia. Amisha, how are you?
Hey, Uncle Brad, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. This is regards to my husband. He was in deportation proceedings since 2008, and we got married in 2014. We got I-130 approved, and he was, doing like a reporting with ICE.
Right.
Yes.
Why was he in deportation? Why was he in deportation?
Overstayed, visa overstayed.
Okay, so he got ordered deported. So he was reporting to ICE. He got ordered deported. For whatever reason, they couldn't deport him. And then you married him, I guess, at some point after his deportation, right?
Exactly.
And then you
so
filed,
we have
you filed the I-130. Was that approved?
Yes, it was approved in 2016.
And you're trying to reopen the case
Yeah.
now.
We tried to. The lawyer did not advise us to reopen the case. The lawyer advised us to apply for a 485 adjustment of status along with the 601. So we filed that,
You see
and
me shaking my head?
recently,
You feel me? You see me shaking my head?
yeah. So recently, and as he was reporting with ICE, and they detained him.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he got detained, and he got deported. So again, I got another lawyer which advised me to do like a 212. So mind you, the 485 and the 601 has been pending with them for more than 2 years now. With no.
The 45 was a waste. All of that was a waste, unfortunately. Like the other lady, there was a lady who called before from Dallas. I forgot her name. Where the lawyer also, the person's ordered deported, and the lawyer's filing adjustment applications. The concept is this: once you are in removal, other than getting a petition approved to apply for adjustment of status, which is apply for your green card, you got to ask the judge for permission to do it. You can't just go forget that you're in deportation and just go file for an adjustment with immigration. So that's where the problem was with this lady in Dallas, where I said, sounds like it's a screw up. And here it's the same thing. You needed to reopen the case. Unfortunately, your husband got deported. So now, forget that I-45. You gotta transition. You gotta transfer that I-130 approval to the National Visa Center to start visa processing. And you're going to need 2 waivers. One waiver, which is the 212 waiver, which is to return after a prior order of deportation. And you're going to need a second waiver.
We have found that already.
Right, and you're going to need a second waiver because he lived out of status here for more than a year. He has a 10-year bar. So you need 2 waivers to return back to America, not one.
Okay.
The second 601 waiver. The 601 waiver. Yeah, go ahead.
We already have the 601 pending, and then the
but the 601's pending in the wrong procedure. Okay.
Okay.
You need all right. In this order, this is what happens. Okay. I-130. You need. I don't know where this I-130 is right now, but it needs to get to the National Visa Center. You need.
Okay. So how do I do that?
You do that on an I-824 application, which is a request to transfer an approved petition to the National Visa Center. So you do an I-824 to the National Visa Center. You file that 212 waiver. You process him through the National Visa Center for a visa appointment in his home country. He walks into the embassy in his home country with his 212 waiver and his affidavits of support and everything else because you processed him in his home country, and they're going to say, fantastic, except you overstayed your time by more than a year. You have a 10-year bar. And then you got to file the 601 waiver. Get the 601 waiver approved. Then he goes back to the U.S. Embassy. It's a whole process. And then goes back to the U.S. Embassy, and then he comes with his green card. But it's a process, and you haven't, unfortunately, you've been getting very poor advice, it sounds like. And, you haven't really left the starting gate yet for all of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have to do the 601 again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
After he gets denied.
And the 212 has been pending because we did ours in October and they're on January.
But in the meantime, transfer the I-130. You got to do everything together. Other than that, you're going to get a 212 waiver approved. You still need to get the I-130 to the National Visa Center to process him for a visa appointment. None of that's happening yet.
Okay.
All right. Hold on if you need help. Hold on if you need help. All right, let's go to James in Brooklyn. James.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I got a quick question. As a U.S. citizen, I petitioned for my mom's via visa petition. She had an interview on March 11th of this year. They said she was approved. They gave her instructions to send in her passport for printing. She sent the passport in, and roughly 3, maybe 5 days after she sent it in, I believe the embassy closed down. So I'm wondering, they never sent back the passport. So I'm wondering if the new proclamation is going to affect her.
Where is this?
She lives in Grenada, but she went to Barbados for the interview.
Barbados. And this was, you sponsored her as the son?
Yes.
Right. Unless they already put the visa in her passport, yeah, I don't know what happened. I think someone needs to call the embassy in Barbados and see what happened.
I emailed them and they basically said that I have to wait till the embassy reopens. I mean, it's been a couple months. They haven't even sent back the passport, so
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know off the top of my head if the embassy's open in Barbados, but I still think somebody needs to call. There's got to be somebody there who can answer a telephone.
I did call. They told me to send an email, so I sent them an email. And
okay, so then I'll call for you. Okay, so I mean we're going in circles. I don't know whether an immigrant visa was issued to her or not. If it was, then she can get it. If it wasn't, then the proclamation applies.
All right, no problem.
All right, hold on. All right, let's go to Vera in Staten Island. Vera.
Hi, Mr. Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, what's going on?
Yeah, so I only have one question. Yes. So I have green card since 2014, and in 2017, October, I was separating from my husband, and on 2017, I still filed taxes as separating, married but separate file. So on 2018 and 2019, I had no idea that the tax preparer didn't file as married separate for my taxes, but they filed it as single.
What's the problem?
And
tell me what your problem is. You sound very stressed out, but I don't know what your problem is. Tell me what your problem is.
Yeah, my problem is if I file for citizenship, will there be a problem?
Amend your taxes. If it was filed incorrectly, you can amend your taxes.
Okay. So I just need to amend the taxes and
if you filed incorrectly, I don't know if you filed incorrectly or not. I
had no idea.
I didn't fully understand the whole situation with your marriage and whether or not you filed properly or not. But the simple solution is that if you filed incorrectly your taxes and you want to make sure your taxes are corrected for your citizenship, it's very easy to amend tax returns and change the category in which you were filed in.
Okay.
All right. So if you're not sure, have a consultation. But the simple answer to all of this is amend it if necessary. All right. So there's a simple solution to it if you have to. I didn't fully understand the marriage and everything.
Okay. So what should I do?
Hold on. That's what you should do. All right. Let's go to Sam in San Francisco. Sam.
Hello?
Sam.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I do. What's going on?
Hey, hi, Brad. How are we doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good, thanks. So I have two questions, actually. I came on a student's visa here in 2015,
right.
And then I got a work permit and everything, and then I re-registered because I had a one-year work permit, so I re-registered in the same school, and I was going there until December 2019, but from January I couldn't go for some reason, and then I actually had gotten married to a U.S. citizen in August 2019. I haven't applied for the green card yet, the adjustment of status, but I would like to know that will it have an effect because I didn't attend school since January 2020.
Did you attend school ever?
I'm sorry, say that again?
When did you come to America?
In 2015, and I have been attending school.
Okay, for 5 years, and now you're married to an American citizen, you want to adjust your status, that's fine.
That's correct. But and even if I worked sometimes like for Uber and stuff, is that okay?
Yes, let me tell you why. It's not okay. I mean, you walked out of status, but let me tell you why it won't affect you. It won't affect you because if you're married to an American citizen, the fact that you worked out of status is not a bar to getting a green card. So the only bar to getting a green card would be if you came on a student visa and started working within the first 90 days. That would be misrepresentation on what your purpose of coming to America was, or if you did work as an Uber driver in 2018. You came in 2015. I don't know. I'm making this up. And then you go and put on your forms. I've never worked a day in my life here in America. I'm an angel. And it turns out when you go on the interview, they determine, wait a second, you were working for Uber. Now you've lied.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as there's no misrepresentation, that is the only way that can screw you over. So the answer is yes. It's okay if you worked out of status because it will not prevent you from getting a green card. In your particular
actually, I was in status, but on F1 you're not supposed to be working.
So you worked out of
Yes.
status.
Oh,
You didn't
okay.
have authorization to work.
Okay, yeah. So I filed my taxes in 2019, and that's what I did. I actually did my Uber and Lyft, and then I was going to school as well. But then I got married. So on my taxes, for the dependency form, I think do you have to show the income and agree that you worked and everything?
Yes.
Okay, so that should be fine if I don't if I mention it there, right?
As I finished telling you, the fact that you worked out of status is not a reason to get a green card. As a matter of fact, the fact that you were working shows, if anything, it helps your case, believe it or not. Isn't that really bizarre the way the immigration laws work? It's actually quite hypocritical.
Okay, so that should be fine. So I'm sorry, one more thing. So so my wife, she has not been working in the previous years, and she just started working in June 2020. So I suppose I would need a co-sponsor for that.
Yes, exactly.
And but that's okay. But then when I fill the form, it says mention the sponsor's current income, and I mean she has an approximate income because she just started working in June, and she has not. So what would I do in that case? Does that income count?
Well, it's not the income that she's received. You have to give a yearly income. So this is her yearly income right now.
Yeah, I mean, she just started working in June 2020.
I understand that. So if you extrapolate, what would her salary be over the course of a year?
Okay, so that should work, and I don't need a co-sponsor then because it's more than 50.
You need a
co-sponsor. Oh, I do? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right, let's go to Miles in Champaign, Illinois. Miles.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Yes, I did file for my N400. That was in 2017, July, and I didn't get interviewed till like last year, and after that, I didn't get no answer. It was just stuck up on
Why
interview.
Why is it taking so long?
I don't know.
Do you have anything in your history that would prevent you from becoming a citizen?
No, I don't have any history. No criminal history. No.
You're an angel.
No drugs or whatever. Good. So, and I filed some mandamus after I spoke to a lawyer. And
you know what you actually should be filing for, not a mandamus. When it's naturalization and you go for an interview and it's more than 120 days, you should do what's called a de novo review. Because a mandamus keeps the decision on your naturalization with immigration. De novo review pulls your application away from immigration and gives the decision to the federal judge. So if you're going to go into federal court, you might as well do a de novo review. That's my opinion.
Okay, but after filing for the mandamus, that was last week, and yesterday they denied the application within 5 days.
Mm-hmm. Why?
So I don't know. They haven't. They said they will send me the.
Okay, so then you got to figure out why, and then we'll take it from there. I don't know why they denied you. So until I know why they denied you, I can't tell you. Because as I was just saying, all a mandamus can do is force them to give a decision. It doesn't mean you force them to give the correct decision. And if they give an incorrect decision, you could appeal. But a de novo review pulls your case out of immigration and puts it into the federal judge's hands. You could only do that on a naturalization. So that's why I was just saying I definitely would have done the de novo review over the mandamus, but it's water under the bridge. Let's wait for the decision and then make an appointment to come see me and bring that decision with you.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so in today's Spar and Bernstein attorney close-up, immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre tells us how to make it easier for your attorney to get you the best result in your case. Let's watch.
one way a client can make a case much easier for an attorney is by telling the truth. I emphasize that all the time. I don't know how many situations I've had where a client decided not to tell the truth. And if they had told the truth, I would have been able to assist them and actually be able to get either their green card or be able to keep them in the country. I think it's so imperative to be able to be honest with your attorney, to explain to them even things that you may think is not important, but explain it to them. If you've been arrested, you should tell your attorney that. I had a case not too long ago where the client didn't think it would show up because she had already done her fingerprints. And of course it showed up when we went into the interview. So again, it's really important to be very honest with your attorney so they might be able to assist you in being able to get the best result for you.
Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, we got some co-hosts. Let's do some social media checking. All right, what do we got, guys?
All right, can you guys hear me now?
I can, Mr. Verizon.
Golly.
Golly, you're very loud now, actually.
Oh, please.
You're very, very loud.
Listen, guys. All right.
Okay.
So first
This
question.
is way better.
Yes.
Okay, cool. First question. It comes from a VIP Instagrammer. All right. So Brad, hope all is well. We're thankful for your good work. Now, my husband is in removal proceedings, and I'm a U.S. citizen. I filed my I-130, and it's approved. Once the I-130 was approved, we filed an I-485 and did his biometrics. We have a court date on September 15th. My lawyer is not helpful since we moved our case.
Yeah, it sounds like that
NYC
woman who
to Dallas.
it sounds like that woman who called earlier. I don't know if it's the
Right.
same person or not, but you need to recalendar your case with the immigration judge. Show the approved I-130 and say, I want to adjust my husband's status. We don't want to go forward with the asylum case.
Okay, so does that answer the question when it says what documents do they need for the current
Make a
the court
motion
date?
to recalendar. Do not go on an individual for his asylum.
Got you.
All right, perfect. Next one comes from Charms3602. They say, "Hi, Brad. I just love watching your show. The way
Thank
you
you.
reply to everyone with a question. I think this could have been a comment of the day, actually. So that was just a compliment in case you needed a midday pick me up.
I do like that pick me up. Thank you very much.
The next question actually comes from Malualem Alumu. And they asked, my visa is B2 and field I-130, I-485, I-131, I-765, filed February 2020, February 2020 and received biometric letter, which is canceled due to COVID. Can the proclamation affect my case?
No.
All right. Next one comes from Claudia saying, hey, Uncle Brad, how can I reply for VAWA or apply maybe? For VAWA, I'm in high school now, and I'm on my last year in school, and I want to go to college so bad. I need your help, please.
Well, if you're in high school, I don't think you're married. VAWA would be an abused spouse unless you're being abused by your parents. What's going on there?
Could it be
maybe she wants
DACA?
a SIJ? Maybe she wants SIJ, Special Juvenile Immigrant? Because if anything, it would be perhaps a SIJ case. If you don't live with one of your biological parents and it's not in your best interests to be reunited with at least one of your biological parents because of abuse or neglect, then you can apply for a SIJ, but you got to go through family court and get somebody to do a guardianship of you. Is that what she's referring to? I think maybe she wants, maybe whoever's watching her or taking care of her, or maybe she herself wants to call our show and we can find out more about it.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one comes from Milo Slavminka, and they ask, is it a good thing, and does that mean that there is a chance for a notice for an interview or hopefully approval of an I-485 without an interview?
It's unlikely to have an approval for an adjustment based on a marriage. I don't know what your I-485 is based on.
Okay, Najla is saying, how long will it take for NVC to review resubmitted documents? Will my case be put back to the waiting line? Also, when NVC approves the case, how long can we expect to have an interview?
Well, right now there's a proclamation. I don't know who's sponsoring you. Who's sponsoring her, Yo-Yo?
It just says that the documents were resubmitted.
I don't know who's sponsoring her, so I wouldn't know what's going on.
Okay.
Noted. Okay, our next question comes from Zenib, and they say, hi, Brad. I filed a VAWA since 2018. How long does it take to approve? Almost 2 years since I filed. Can I travel in the Philippines even with my VAWA still pending? And my renewal EAD. Okay, let's answer that first part.
Yeah, if you filed an adjustment, you can get advanced parole and travel. If you just have a VAWA and nothing else, no, you cannot travel. I don't know what's going on there, Vanessa. What did he file besides his VAWA? Did he file?
And then he continues and said, and my renewal EAD 2 days. I check online and they said card produced. How long to receive my EAD? 1 week or 2.
You're asking me when you're going to get a work
That's
permit?
what gave me the follow up. Yeah, that's all that followed up. I don't have any information.
I don't know. I could ask the Magic 8 Ball. When will this man get his?
That's what we were gonna go to.
When will this man who filed a VAWA? I don't know if there's an adjustment pending. The most information, Magic 8 Ball, that he gave us was he's Filipino. When will this Filipino get his work permit?
You're shaking that ball.
It says most likely he's going to get it soon. That's all I know. It just says most likely. Most likely soon. Keep your fingers crossed.
All right, Alum. Yes, Alum saying, hey, I'm a U.S. citizen filing for my mother and father. It's been 3 weeks since I paid and submitted all documents to NVC CEAC. Though the payment hasn't taken from my account since, is it waived? Does the PROC affect? I don't know what that is. Does the PROC affect?
The proclamation should not affect the National Visa Center from taking your fees. It's from scheduling the immigrant visa appointments.
Okay.
All right, the next one comes from Rosie Flores, and she says, hi, my son is in the Army. He is 19. I'm protected with parole in place benefit. Also, I have a daughter, 21. Can I extend the parole? Not enough money to submit the residence now.
You could always get another parole in place. I just don't know if the program's going to be there forever. So if you have the option to file your adjustment, I would do it now.
All right, Joan Grant saying, Uncle Brad, when someone applies for their citizenship, how long does it take for them to get it? And do they get the citizenship before the interview?
No, you don't get the citizenship before the interview. You have to file your naturalization, and you got to take a fingerprint, and you got to go on a naturalization interview, and then you got to go swearing in. And right now, because of coronavirus, everything is delayed. They have not scheduled any swearing ins, and it's very, very political. Very, very political what's going on right now.
Okie dokie, Brad. The next one comes from Irva Tareem Rot, and they say, hey, Brad, I wanted to ask, I come from Ireland. I want to apply for adjustment of status, and in the I-944, do I include my foreign credit card debts, or does it have to be U.S. credit card debts only? I came on a fiance visa, and my husband is a U.S. citizen. Well, the fiance is a
all
US
your credit card debts from around the world, doesn't matter where it is.
Noted.
Okay. Miles 7 saying, hey, Brad, please, after the Stokes interview, the officer gave my wife a piece of paper to sign her signature on it 3 times. After signing her signature on the piece of paper, he said the interview is finished, but he cannot take decisions. He cannot take decisions. He will talk to his supervisor before. Please, how long do you think we'll hear from the supervisor?
How was this the first interview or the second interview?
Just says after the Stoke interview.
Oh, after the Stokes interview. When they're going to talk to the supervisor, that's never a good thing. Okay? That's their excuse that they think they're going to deny you.
Yikes.
Because they'll tell you right there on the spot, you're going to get approved. You passed your interview.
Okay, next one comes from Kiki Agacom. They say, hi, Uncle Brad. I have been in and out of the U.S. most of the time for the past 2 years because I was doing my clinical rotations on B1 visa. Should my partner put my latest I-9 for arrival and departure on I-130?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, next one. Okay, next
The
one
answer's
comes
yes.
from Marco. Next one comes from
I don't really have
Marco.
much more to say. The answer is yes.
Oh, that's good. All
Yes.
right. Hey, Uncle Brad. My EAD renewal was approved on June 22nd, but it hasn't been shipped yet. I'm tracking it in USCIS's website. In the past, from approval to delivery, it took 1 week. Is this delay time normal?
I think I think the delay now is at least 3-4 weeks now from approval to delivery. That's what's going on based on what I see in my own practice.
Okay.
Abigail Taylor Watson says, I'm not trying to get this COVID-19 because no one knows what the long-term repercussions are. Does it stay in our blood? And this is a corona question. No, this is not a good question for us. Let's skip this. Immigration question.
Brad is a doctor too.
You're asking me scientific.
How many organs are going to be destroyed if you
the
have
hand
it,
bone's
Brad?
connected to the elbow. The elbow's connected to the shoulder.
Awkward. Okay, this one comes from Workley Simon, and it says, how can I go about applying for re-entering the U.S. legally after these 20 years?
After what 20 years? What happened in the last 20 years?
Not sure. I don't know, but it's been 20 years.
It's been 20 years. How can he apply for going back? Walk into the embassy. I don't know what he's applying for.
Right, and
what
which
kind of question
embassy?
is this?
Where
What
are
happened in this last 20 years, and where are you exactly? But I should tell him exactly how to apply again.
Right.
Can you read that question again? That question makes me laugh.
Literally says, how can I go about applying? How can I go about applying for re-entering the U.S. legally, key, after these 20 years?
Well,
maybe he's been gone for 20 years, and now he wants to re-enter.
Yes, but we don't know why, how, what.
Right. We need more information. All right, Maron saying, hey, Uncle Brad, it's been over 18 months since I applied for the I-751. My green card was extended for 18 months, so now it's over. What do you advise me?
The green card, you go down to once immigration opens, make an InfoPass appointment and get a temporary stamp to extend your green card. The I-751s are taking over 2 years now.
Okie dokie. Next one comes from, interesting, a Beyonce and Jay-Z fan page.
Really?
I am seeking asylum as a 20-year-old gay man with evidence. Can I use for my asylum to be granted?
What can you use for your asylum to be granted? That you're going to be persecuted because you're a gay man.
Yeah, what evidence?
Your own testimony.
Okay.
All right, last one, Yonathan.
All right, Shanti saying, does 5 years good moral character required for green card application, or is it just for citizenship application?
It's good moral character is needed for adjustment of status. It's not needed for immigrant visa processing. There's no time frame for adjustment of status. They don't give a specific time frame for adjustment of status. They say you just have to be a person of good moral character, and the government looks back several years or even longer. For immigrant visa processing, when you go abroad, when you are abroad from the United States to get a green card, there is no moral character requirements whatsoever to get an immigrant visa. For citizenship, it is 5 years good moral character. So those are 3 different rules.
All right.
All right, so meanwhile, this weekend before last, President Donald Trump and United States Attorney General William Barr fired Geoffrey Berman, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. The dismissal was dramatic. Barr announced Berman was fired Friday night, but Berman refused to step down, forcing Trump to fire the U.S. Attorney the next day. Now, here to break down what the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney does and why many are extremely concerned by Berman's dismissal, saying the firing is an assault on America's justice system, is Spar Bernstein's very own civil rights and litigation attorney, former Manhattan Assistant District Attorney, David Moreno. David, how are you? I don't hear David. I do not hear David. Can you speak again, David? I do not hear David. I do not hear you. Hello, David Moreno. David Moreno, you must unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted.
Fantastic lawyer, not so great with technology. There you are. How are you? I hear you now. Nope, now I do not hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Now I do.
Good. Hey.
So let's start again. David, as a former Manhattan District Attorney, please enlighten us. And by the way, congratulations to you. Not that we condone what your client was doing, but David this week had a client who was looking at 40 years in jail. And he is now time served and done. Correct?
Yeah. What district that was in, Brad?
Southern District.
Southern District in New York.
Yeah.
It's a great segue into the question you just asked.
So what does the U.S. Attorney do, and why is the Southern District so important?
So the U.S. Attorney's Office prosecutes both civil, high-level civil, complex civil litigations, as well as high-level federal crimes. The Southern District specifically spans over the region of Manhattan, the Bronx, Westchester, and the other counties right above Westchester. One of the reasons why the Southern District is so important, historically has been so important, is because obviously Wall Street and the financial district fall within the Southern District of New York. Many of their very, very high-profile prosecutions have led to some of the highest forfeiture amounts in the history of the United States. And with great money comes great power. That is a prestige and prime position. It's probably the most important law enforcement agency in the whole world.
So, for example, Madoff was, everyone knows who Bernie Madoff was. He went through the Southern District, right?
Correct.
Right.
Madoff went through the Southern District. Jeffrey Epstein was in custody of Southern
El
District.
Chapo?
Chapo, ironically, was Eastern District.
He was Eastern District, okay.
A big surprise. They housed him in CC, which is in the Southern District.
Right.
But just the fact that Chapo was Eastern District, it goes to show you how powerful the federal prosecutors are here in New York. Chapo never stepped foot in this country, and the Eastern District went after him. It actually was surprising that Eastern District got that high profile of a case, because obviously, historically, those cases have gone to the Southern District.
So now there was a big thing because the Southern District was investigating a lot of Trump cronies, okay? And but before we get into that, who appoints the U.S. Attorney? Who appoints the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District?
I'll take president for 500, Alex.
So apparently now, if the president appoints the U.S. Attorney, they can, I guess, by tradition, also be fired by the president. So why was this?
Correct.
Why was this so unusual that Berman was refusing to leave?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way it works in procedure is the U.S. Attorney is a position that's appointed by the president, and almost always, unequivocally, that U.S. Attorney will be in office for the 4 years or 8 years, consistent with the term of the president. There are times when U.S. attorneys are particularly great at their jobs where they stay longer than the term of the president that appoints them. When there's a change in the political parties, meaning we go from a Democratic presidency to a Republican presidency, almost always unequivocally, the opposing party will want to appoint a U.S. attorney that is from their party or representative of their party. So what they would normally do is, rather than fire the U.S. attorney, they will ask him to professionally step down so that the new incumbent president can appoint their own candidate as the U.S. attorney. This situation was weird and raised a lot of eyebrows because obviously the election is not till November. There's been a lot of heat on the Trump camp, and there've been a number of connected individuals to President Trump that have been either prosecuted, indicted, or were being investigated by the Southern District of New York.
Now, here's a hypothesis. Berman was coming after Trump and his comrades. What do you think of that?
I think that Berman was doing his job. right? It's the most important cog in the criminal justice system that we have.
So why was Trump so nervous that he had to get rid of Berman on a Friday night? Why do you think this?
Why does anybody release a news story in the middle of the night?
They don't want anyone to know.
Correct.
Right now,
Correct.
the Southern District, they issued a grand jury indictment against Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman, who was associates with Giuliani. Giuliani being Trump's attorney. Do you think something was going on there?
I'm not one to speculate, but I have on good research authority and looking at all of the outstanding facts. It's pretty clear to me that this action was not based on any discretion that Mr. Berman had, or reflection of his work, but was rather a way to get him out of office before he uncovered anything that could be potentially hurtful to the White House or to the president himself.
Now, according to the new book by Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, The Room Where It Happened, Berman oversaw an investigation into Turkish bank Halbank. A probe Bolton claims Trump promised Turkish President Erdogan would be fixed. What do you think of that?
Well, all of this stuff,
I mean, you're a former district attorney. You were doing this for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. What do you think? What do you think is going on? You're not the insider, but you've done this.
Yeah, and I've worked on a number of cases when I was a prosecutor that overlapped with the Southern District on assignment. The way that the Southern District operates and the way that most U.S. attorneys operate, and I always tell my clients this: when you get arrested by the feds, it's not, "Hey, Brad, I saw you doing something wrong." It's, "Hey, Brad, I've been watching you for about 3 years, and I knew you were going to do something wrong, and now I have all the evidence that shows exactly what you did." So they do their homework.
So you feel that so they had, if they are prosecuting somebody, they already got the goods on you.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. They're not a reactionary office. They are a very proactive office. They work very closely with a number of informants. The feds do not make a case without someone involved cooperating. So generally, once they get you, they've got you.
So it's not like he's concerned, oh, they're going to start an investigation, I wonder what they'll find. When the feds are already, doing they're there already.
Correct.
Now, last week, a former prosecutor testified to the House Judiciary Committee that the Justice Department gave Roger Stone unprecedentedly favorable treatment because he's an ally of President Trump. How much does politics weigh on prosecutors?
It shouldn't play any role, but I've seen it happen time and time again. I don't know if anybody on the Brad Squad or if you watched the Epstein documentary on Netflix. That exact same
I'll be honest with you. I started to watch it. I thought it was so disgusting what he was doing that I couldn't watch it anymore. I watched about 45 minutes because I was interested, and I'm like, this is so disgusting. I can't even watch it.
Yeah, it's insane the level of what this man got away with. But they did go into on a second episode when they were actually honing in on him, and they actually had him on a number of rapes and sexual assaults on minors, that there was pressure from the Southern District of Florida's U.S. attorney to not prosecute Mr. Epstein and that work out a plea that was going to be favorable. Because, unfortunately in this country, the financial industry does have great influence on what happens in a lot of offices. And if you have corrupt individuals, at the helm of the most powerful positions, then they will be able to be swayed by their political aspirations and their party and political allegiances.
Now, this week also, a 3-judge panel for the District Court, Circuit Court of Appeals, ordered District Judge Emmett Sullivan to accept Justice Department's motion to dismiss the case against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. He had already pled guilty, and then William Barr had the U.S. Attorney's Office or the Justice Department come in and make a motion to say, even though the U.S. attorneys got him to plead guilty, we want to drop this case. You ever hear of such a thing?
No, this is one of the grossest abuses of power that I've ever seen. The man has already gone in open court, not only he also allocated to the actual conduct that he did that was illegal. And after he did that, the case to be dismissed is not something I've ever encountered, either as an attorney, a commentator, or someone just close to the law.
Now, what about the person that Trump and Barr originally wanted to replace Berman with? Now, he is now being replaced by Audrey Strauss, who was Berman's assistant. But originally, they wanted Jay Clayton, who is the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, to be the Southern District Attorney. What's up with that?
That is obviously that Jay Clayton being someone from the SEC that overlaps quite a bit with big business. Putting someone like that in office is definitely a strategic situation. I can't imagine any non-prosecutor being at the helm, let alone, holding the role as even a bureau chief at a U.S. attorney's office without understanding the inner workings of how the office operates. So clearly, picking someone like Jay Clayton was A, outside of the norm, and B, to me, would suggest that something more nefarious is going on.
So what do you think once maybe Trump hopefully is voted out of office? What kind of safeguards and laws? Because I mean, there is supposedly checks and balances, but this doesn't seem to be checks and balances with Trump. What kind of safeguards do you think we need for the U.S. Attorney's Office?
There's a number of things, Brad. One way to go about it is to possibly make it an election, right? We see the strengths and weaknesses of that. Unfortunately,
because the district attorney in Manhattan is elected. What is the strengths and weaknesses of that versus being appointed by the mayor, for example? You worked in the district attorney's office.
Yeah, the strengths and weaknesses is if you're elected, you should be the representative of the people, and that's one thing that both Attorney Barr and also Berman, like, there's a huge crossing of the line to where it seems as if Barr is the president's personal attorney, and that's not his role. So when you have appointments, there's always favors owed. There's always some higher political authority that's kind of using you as a puppeteer. But when you have an election, the issue with that, even though I do think in this situation it would be more beneficial, when you have an election, not everybody takes local elections as seriously as they should, and we still have a jaded and biased panel when it comes to who votes in local elections, and we don't necessarily get someone that's representative of the people. I think what could work is having just better information. Having people nominated based on merit, maybe career prosecutors that have shown that they're unethical and non-compromising, and then from there have an election amongst the most qualified individuals.
Did you ever deal with anything in your career, either on the defense side or on the prosecution side, that was just completely politically motivated, like what's going on here right now?
If I told you no, I'd be lying, and I'm actually really disappointed to even share this, and I won't say what government official's driver got a DWI when I was a young prosecutor, and I picked up the phone and it was that government official saying, hey, I'd really like some discretion on this case.
And what?
And this is maybe a year out of law school, Brad. Right. And I was like, I need to go to a boss right away. You know me, I'm pretty independent.
I've never actually even heard you ever tell me this before. This is the first time hearing this. I've known you for like 5-6 years already.
Yeah, I don't share it very much.
Right.
Luckily, I had a boss that was uber ethical. He's no longer there. I don't know if that's symbolic of anything, but he was someone that's been in the office, over 40 years, and his reputation was impenetrable. And I kind of got him on the case, and he did no favors. Unfortunately, I think it did strain his relationship a little bit with the powers that be. And it happens quite a bit. It happens a lot, actually. I also had a situation where, oh man, Brad, when I was a prosecutor, one of the judges that I used to appear in front of, his twin brother was arrested on the Upper East Side for punching a cab driver in the face. And this is a judge that I had to appear in front of all the time. And when I say the pressure was on,
how did the twin brother go before the judge? The twin brother's judge.
He didn't go before the same judge. But I went the same judge all the time
I
on other
see.
cases.
I see.
So there was nothing overtly said, but there was an influence that I should, resolve his case in a way that's not consistent with what justice calls for.
Right.
Ultimately, I did what I wanted, and I made an enemy of a judge that I probably still have, and it is what it is.
Well, thank you very much, David, for giving us a little enlightenment on what's going on, which, a prosecutor should have no politics involved whatsoever. And here we have a situation where multiple Trump entities and Trump associates are being investigated, and all of a sudden, the U.S. attorney gets fired on a Friday night by William Barr.
What do you think would be a better structure, Brad, in terms of a federal prosecutor?
I agree with you. It should be voted by the people, and it should not be voted in the same year as the presidential election, so that the U.S. attorneys straddle presidents.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be having a new U.S. attorney coming in with the president, and there has to be some level of independence between the judicial system and the executive branch, and there has to be, and Congress has to take back some power from President Trump, who just grabs power and nobody does anything about it.
Yeah, he's really steamrolling his way, over a number of people in an unprecedented way.
When people say there's checks and balances, there's only checks and balances if somebody on the other side stands up and says, hey, wait a second. But if the other side, what are you doing? You can't do this. But if the other side says, okay, fine with me, then you're gonna grab the power all the time.
Yeah, it's the enablement versus accountability, right?
Yeah.
In this situation, we have a president that's enabled, and generally the way the system was built was for us to have someone that would hold him accountable.
Right.
But when we have the same party, and I was just literally reading about this today, Brad, about how the Declaration of Independence in the U.S. Constitution literally warned us against a two-party system and how dangerous it would be. If you go back and read that document, it tells us the perils of being in a two-party system, because we will never have someone that's truly representative of any of our views. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. There's no way of two candidates, there's someone that you strongly align with. But ultimately, you're going to have to force yourself to align with the person that your party puts forward, which causes a number of issues.
Yeah, but unfortunately, because the Electoral College, you can't have a third party.
That's true.
That
That's
seems
true.
to be
But
the problem.
You can do plurality voting. If you look up, they do that in Maine for the governor's race, and how it works. Brad, is this? Imagine I was taking you to you asked me. I said, Brad, I'm going to Subway for lunch, and I asked you what you want. And you give me 5 options, and if give me a meatball sub, and if they don't have a meatball sub, give me a tuna, and if they don't have a tuna, give me a chicken.
Right.
That's how they do the voting in Maine, and a lot of studies have shown that in doing that, you actually get to a candidate that a majority of folks want. Whereas if you look at the Republican primary, of all of the votes, you know how much Trump initially had? 5%. 5% in the primary of his own party.
Trump did not even win the majority of votes between him and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton won a majority of the votes in the 2016 election, yet Trump is our president.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Did you see the map of the far Midwest, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, etc.? Those 5 states, they have 10 electoral college votes, which is 10% of the country, and they only account for like 5 million total population between the 5 states combined.
Yeah.
Which we have more people than that in New York City.
That's right.
Yet we don't have equal representation, relative to our electoral college votes, which is, it's ridiculous. We really have to figure out a way to have our political system be more representative of what the people want.
Yeah, it's a problem. Anyways, I got to go. I got to do a speed round. Thank you very much for coming in, David Moreno, Civil Rights and Federal Litigation. Awesome job this week, by the way. I mean, when you think about it, guy looking at 40 years in jail, and then he just walks. So congratulations on. And we don't condone what he was charged with, but ultimately, it's not what you're charged with in our system, and we could talk about this another day. It's what can be proven in court. Right?
Yeah, but I don't take the credit by myself, because you and I bounced a lot of stuff off on this case. You played just as much a role in it as I did. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, David Moreno, Federal Litigation, Civil Rights. I appreciate you coming on. We got to get to something we like to call Speed Round. Yo-Yo, Ness-quick. How many questions are we answering, and how long is this going to take us to answer?
Let's do 10.
We're gonna make
10 questions in how long? Yo-Yo or Ness-quick? I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, so I think we should do 10.
10. Why don't you? All of a sudden, I changed my position. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
What happened? I just moved.
It's a better angle for you, Brad.
Is that a better
We've
angle
all
for me?
anonymously
There we go.
decided.
I'm going to look this way. A new angle for Uncle Brad. All of a sudden, they just moved me in the studio. 1 minute and 20 seconds. They have no confidence in us. None whatsoever. They gave us an extra 10 seconds from yesterday.
Right. We need it.
Boy,
We're
we are out of shape with this. They're giving us. Wait. What? What's going on here? 1 minute 18.
Challenge accepted.
1 minute 21. What are they giving us here?
All right, I'll take the extra second.
1 minute and 20 seconds to answer 10 questions. They don't have no confidence in us. They're giving us all the time in the world. I mean, we could take a stroll around the block and answer 10 questions in 1 minute and 20.
Right.
All right, you ready?
Well, I guess let's do it. All right.
Let's do it.
Ready?
Go.
Does the ban on green card apply to spouses or permanent residents also?
Spouses or permanent residents, it does apply.
After the Stoke interview, how long will it take for USCIS to take decision?
They're supposed to give 4 months or less.
Any update on USCIS on what when they will resume I-485 interviews?
No.
Do you know if there are any lawsuits as of yet to challenge the president executive order to temporary immigration ban?
I have not heard of any yet.
I filed for my Mandamus last week for my M400 and got denied after 5 days. What should I do?
Come see me with the decision.
I know immigration is backlogged, but do you have any update on pending citizenship interview?
No.
How long does a case take to transfer from one state to another?
Once you transfer to another state, you go to the end of the line.
What are the chances for someone getting their citizenship if that person has a domestic violence record?
That makes you deportable. I would not file anything until you come see me.
How can they take away your citizenship if you're naturalized?
If you committed fraud in the citizenship application, they would have to denaturalize you through federal court.
Is a single charge / conviction of fraud over 10K considered an aggravated felony?
Yes.
Woo!
We did it.
Fraud.
Damn, I guess we did need that.
Fraud over 10,000 is an aggravated felony. It is. All right, Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
We have
Boss
some
lady.
nice things that people have said.
You have some
We
nice
wanna
things.
tell you about it.
Yeah, let's do something we like to call comments of the day. What do we got?
Alrighty, our first comment of the day. Carol Anderson says, I love how you guys share your knowledge and opinions. I can help someone learn what is going on in the world. Excellent.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you, Carol.
Right. Oh. All right, y'all. Our second comment of the day comes from Sasha Ford saying, after I got married, I went straight to Brad's office and they handled everything until the end. One stop and I get my 10 years.
Thank you.
So congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Sasha.
Okie dokie. The next comment of the day comes from Caesar Nava, and he says, you are doing a great job. I hope you can go on forever. I like your show. I'm a big fan. We hope so too.
I hope so too. I'm 51. Let's see, that's 61, 71. I got at least 30 more years of Brad Show Live, right? I'm 81 years old. At 81, that's it. I'm going to retire and enjoy my life.
Oh, my goodness.
30 more years.
All right, everybody. Our fourth comment of the day comes from Adesumbo Adelaja, saying, with a good show like this, taking notes during the show and listening attentively to the advice given by Uncle Brad, and with God by your side, you should be fine attending any immigration interview.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Very confident. Right. Very confident.
I
that. Agree.
I like that.
Yeah, I feel like you spit enough gems here, Uncle Brad, for folks to, wake up with their strong...
People, if you watch every day, you could become an immigration expert. Trust me.
This is true.
Okay, we have one last comment of the day. Coming from one of our loyals, Elizabeth Francis, and she says, Uncle Brad has the best squad up team. There's none like us. We're focused, smart, patient, and stand up as a team to make our dreams become a reality.
I agree.
I
agree, Elizabeth. Thank you very much. I agree. Stamp of approval. And with that, guys, great job, Yo-Yo. Great job, Ness-quick. Thank you very much, David Moreno, for joining me to talk about what's going on in the Southern District. Great job in the back there with Lee, Jilly, and Mr. TriCaster guy himself, Julian. And let me say goodbye, guys. On the last day, today's the last day of Immigrant Heritage Month, and we're going to sign off again with a video tribute to some of the many personal immigration stories people have shared with the show. But to us at Bradshaw Live, every month is Immigrant Heritage Month, so we're going to continue to showcase these journeys throughout the whole year. Every day, every month, we celebrate immigration here. Right. Take care. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
I am Mexican and I wanted to celebrate my country. I invited a group of Mexicans, artists and collaborators to help me, each one with their roles, including, hair and makeup, and the models are all Mexican, and the wardrobe stylists and whatnot. So under my lead, under my production, under my vision, I directed each of them so that we collectively can bring this to life like a family.
I was born and raised in Mexico City. My mom is an anthropologist, my father is an opera singer, so I always was like in between, and I fell in love. So I moved to New York and I said to my mom, I'm sorry, I know that I'm supposed to be coming to New York with a scholarship to do whatever, but I came because I fell in love.
I came here about 15 years ago. I learned English about 13 years ago. My whole family is here from my dad's side, and my mom's side, they're still there, so I kind of feel for the both. Being here means a lot, mostly because of the opportunities that you get. Very happy to be an immigrant in this country.
I was born in Queens, New York. My mother emigrated here from Barranquilla, Colombia when she was about 3 years old. So she's very much, ingrained in the American culture. She grew up with a lot of American television shows. It's always been this very kind of American viewpoint in our house of everyone coming together under one proverbial roof.
Somebody paid for my way here. I got scholarship for graduate school, and when I finished graduate school, they came and recruited me for a job. My employer applied for my green card, and I got my green card.
It's my dad. He came here as an immigrant and was deported back. He worked so hard, and he was just a great human being that his employer actually gave him a letter of employment that he would be promised employment if he would ever try to get a green card here in the U.S. It's amazing to be given the opportunity to have something better in life.
So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it, I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?